The Roman Colosseum is one of the most famous and impressive structures of the ancient world. The Colosseum was opened in 80 AD by Emperor Titus. Gladiator fights, wild animal hunts, and even staged naval battles using small ships took place in the arena. The architects who built the Roman Colosseum thought of every detail. Welcome to the channel of interesting documentaries, where today I will tell you how the ancient Romans built the famous Roman Colosseum. If you want more content like this, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss the latest video. And now, enjoy watching. 54 AD, Emperor Nero began to rule Rome. He is one of the most controversial figures in Roman history. In 64 AD, a great fire broke out in Rome and destroyed most of the city. Immediately after the fire, Nero quickly built himself a house Domus Aurea, Golden Palace. In order to build his palace, he confiscated the houses of Roman citizens. As you can imagine, the citizens did not like this very much. In 68 AD, the governors of the provinces and the Roman Senate rebelled against Nero. Nero was forced to flee Rome and eventually committed suicide. After Nero's death, Rome ended up in the hands of several more emperors. Then, in 69 AD, Vespasian, the founder of the Flavian dynasty, came to power. In order to repair the damage done by Nero and the emperors after him to the common Roman citizens who no longer believed in the government. Around 70 AD, Vespasian promised to build an amphitheater where gladiator fights would be held. And the amphitheater was to spring up in a symbolic place next to the Domus Aurea Palace on Nero's artificial lake. In the 80 AD, 10 years after the start of construction, Vespasian's son, Emperor Titus, finally opened the Roman Colosseum, which at that time was called the Flavian Amphitheatre. The opening ceremonies were crowned by 100 days of games. Vespasian decided to build the Colosseum on the site where a small artificial lake was located at that time. For such a construction, the lake first had to be drained. The foundations of the Colosseum had to be deep underground to avoid collapse. Making room for a large foundation, a large amount of dirt was dug out from where the Colosseum would stand, which was scattered around the construction. Therefore, the Colosseum rose almost 8 meters above ground level and was built on a kind of hill. However, over many years, all this was raised to the current height. The Colosseum was built using travertine, a strong and durable stone, tuff, a volcanic rock, bricks, and Roman concrete. Travertine blocks were mined from the Tivoli quarries, located about 32 kilometers away. To facilitate the transportation of these blocks, a road specially designed for this project was built. It is believed that it took as many as 240,000 carts with these stones to build the Colosseum. One way or another, between 60,000 and 100,000 people were involved in the construction, most of whom were slaves. In order for giant buildings to stand in Rome, the special Roman cement was used, made from a mixture of limestone, volcanic ash, and sand. This cement is so strong that most of Rome's buildings have survived to this day. The columns and arches in the Colosseum were built from strong Roman cement, which made it possible to create a uniquely open space. The foundations of the Colosseum were also strengthened with this cement. The construction of the Colosseum structure began with the arches, which were built from travertine, which is characterized by strength, durability, and beautiful appearance. The arches allowed the workers to start construction work both at the bottom and at the top of the building. In fact, the portico and walls on the 2 upper floors of the amphitheater were built at the same time as the lower part of the building. It was this advanced construction plan that allowed the Romans to build the Colosseum in less than a decade. To ensure the safety of the spectators in the front rows, they were raised to a height of about 2 meters above the arena floor. In addition, if necessary, a fence was built around the arena to protect spectators from wild animals. The seating closest to the arena was made of travertine and decorated with marble. They were also the most luxurious and decorated in every way. However, as in many modern sports arenas, the higher people sat, the simpler and less comfortable their seats were. In the Colosseum, a sewage system was needed to remove human and animal waste. Public bathrooms or toilets were a row of pits in the ground, carved above a pipe through which water flowed directly into the sewer, which was connected to the city's main sewer, Cloaca Maxima. This system could also supply fresh water to the audience. Such a large-scale facility used water from the main Claudian aqueduct. The water supply was implemented by building tunnels in the walls of the Colosseum. One of the most impressive abilities of the Colosseum is its ability to fill with water. A water arena was created to allow for staged naval battles. This transformation was not easy. It required removing the amphitheater floor and supports. Then the arena would be flooded with water brought by the aqueduct. After the battles, the water was drained through numerous drains. The popularity of these naval battles decreased over time, so eventually the wooden floor supports were replaced with brick walls. This eliminated the possibility of flooding the arena and holding naval battles here. The Hypogum was a space located beneath the Colosseum arena floor. This network of corridors was used for a variety of purposes. Some of its walls were carved. Grooves were carved into the walls and floors of the corridors, which were installed near some of the entrances to the arena. These grooves were used to move animal cages from one place in the Hypogum to another. During events, ramps were built through the Hypogum, which led the animals to the arena. Holes were carved into the walls to allow the insertion of devices that helped lift heavy animals onto the arena. It was really difficult for the people here. In summer, it was very hot in the poorly ventilated Hypogum, and in winter, it was cold and damp. It was incredibly noisy there. Wild animals lived in the tiny space, and many people worked there, shouting to each other to send the animals to the arena. On hot summer days, a canvas called the velarium, which protected the audience from the sun or rain, was stretched over the Colosseum. It was fastened with ropes with a large hole in the middle that did not cover the arena. This canopy was stretched out and maintained by a team of sailors from the Roman Navy. The Colosseum was not the only one that used the velarium. In ancient Rome, it was quite common in most amphitheaters. Gladiator fights in the Colosseum were banned in 404 AD by order of Emperor Honorius. This decision was made because Christianity was becoming increasingly established in the Roman Empire, and gladiator fights were considered a cruel and unchristian activity. However, the Colosseum continued to be used for other events, such as animal fights and public executions. Animal hunts in the arena continued until at least 523 AD and were eventually banned due to excessive spending by the organizers, and the Colosseum lost its original purpose forever. It is believed that during the Colosseum's existence, hundreds of thousands of people and even more animals died here. What do you think about the Roman Colosseum? Have you had the chance to visit it here? You can leave your opinion in the comments section. And now thank you for watching, and see you in the next interesting documentary video.